Hey everyone, OT Lifehacker here. I just came back from school and I have some show and tell for you right now. So, I had lab. We have, how it works for this pediatrics class is we have our lecture and then early in the week, and then we have our lab where it puts together everything in a hands-on practical application. It's so fun. So class was super fun. I went crazy drawing, so I've got several visual aids to be showing you today because I came home and made a few more just for fun. Visual supports. Before we get into that, what the week is about for pediatrics. We were doing behavior and behavior interventions. Occupational therapy for children. What we do is, in general, is help children, whether it be with behavior, social, or motor, or psychological factors, like a whole bunch of things can affect a child's ability to do the activities that they need to do in their day. And activities are everything, whether it is getting up out of bed, brushing their teeth, changing their clothes, sitting down and eating, catching the bus, going to school, and paying attention in class, interacting with their peers, playing with their peers, coming home, doing their chores, everything in their day. And so today we talked about behavior, and within behavior interventions, meaning within having a plan for addressing their behavior while they're in school. If they're not paying attention to the teacher, they're not interacting well with their peers, they're cutting in line, not taking turns, stuff like that we talked about today. And for autism spectrum disorder in particular, children may have difficulty understanding instructions, and they may not be able to express what they want. They may not know expectations, be able to start conversations, may have difficulty with unfamiliar or changed routines. And there can be a lot more to it as well. So visual supports are one means for helping them to better pay attention in class, or like better whatever the visual supports are used for. They can help facilitate that behavior that you're trying to address. Let's see, what I did in class today was I paired up with someone, we did a case study, and the child we had, they had difficulty playing with others in the playground. And so they would cut in line. They would have trouble following directions. They had impulsive behavior, so they would get up and do something else. They would immediately start doing something when they're not supposed to. What were some of the other things? Can't think of them right now, but what we did is visual supports offer another way, another form of communication. And they can help ease the frustration that the child is experiencing, because if the child may forget what they're supposed to do, they have a visual aid, a visual cue, reminder for them. And so this is a little thing that my partner and I made in class, and it is a social story, a specific type of visual support This is called the social story. So in terms, you are turning in you're putting socially appropriate behaviors into, it could be into a list, and you're turning it into a story, essentially. So you're saying, when in a specific situation, when I am on the playground, when I am in the lunch line, when I am eating, when I am in the classroom. So it can be all different scenarios, and you tailor the specific points you want the children to be able to get to, what is socially appropriate. You list them here and have visual aids next to them. Pictures. Now the fun part is customizing it exactly to that child. And so say the child likes like a specific character like Pikachu, or they like dinosaurs, or they like Hello Kitty. You can have Hello Kitty, the dinosaurs, or the Pikachu doing those different tasks. And so that can be something fun for them, eye-catching, and when they look at that, they'll be reminded that, oh, okay, I need to do that. So like I said, I came home and made some other fun stuff for you all. And there are tons and tons of different visual supports that you can use that can be specific to that child's needs, interests, what works for them, or the context, like are they having trouble with following a schedule, or with following steps to do an activity. So are they skipping steps when they do something? Is that why they're not being successful, or successfully doing the task? Well, a visual schedule can come in handy for that. So you can do a whole day for them, or you could just do a schedule for them for all the tasks they need to do to get to school, all the tasks they need to do while they're in school, all the tasks they need to do when they get home, and then from dinner time to bedtime, what's their schedule? So you can make a whole bunch of schedules for them and have it in an easy to remember, an easy to see place for them, so they can see the reminders for themselves. So this is a schedule for when you wake up in the morning to when you go, we'll take this one out, when you go to school. So here's a picture of the bathroom, picture of the toothbrush for brushing your teeth, hair and comb for brushing your hair, picture of clothes for when they get dressed, and a whole bunch more pictures for each of the others. You can see here. And things to keep in mind now, remember, you're making it specific to the child. So make sure it's something that the child is familiar with when you're drawing it. It can be, if it's for eat, make it food that they like. If it's for their school bag, you can have it actually be their own school bag. For school, draw their own school. Make it something that quickly they can recognize. And so that also means take into account culture. What's some cultural factors for them? If it's a bathroom that, or like something that is very unfamiliar to them, that visual aid will not be as effective as you'd like it to be. The visual schedule can be used not just for every day, but specific activities. So that's why I said, if a child's having trouble with sequencing, following steps in its specific order, then you can have that specific activity, each step laid out with a visual cue, a visual picture for everything, and then have them follow that. Now the reason I took out the go home is because, so I just said these 7, is because from sources that I've been looking at, they've mentioned to keep it simple. Do not bombard, do not overwhelm the child with a whole bunch of things on a piece of paper. So maybe you can see here, there's a lot going on here, and it might get a little hard for the child to focus on each one. You could even, for the visual schedule, you could even have the child like have it in a booklet for them. So cut these out and put it in a booklet and have the child flip through as if it's a book, saying, okay, bathroom, next brush teeth, next brush hair, or make like a checklist for them to check off. Next, we have first, then bored. So this can be something like if the child, I feel like this is common. This is common for me when I was a kid. Eating, but I don't want to eat. You want to play. So you have to remind the child, here's a visual reminder that first you must eat before you can do this. First do this, then you can play. First, brush your teeth, then you can watch TV. First, do your homework, and then you can play your video games. So this is almost like a reinforcer for them to do that one activity that you want them to do, or do the activity they need to do, and then they can do the other things that they want to. Now again, there's a lot more visual supports out there. So in summary, visual supports are to help children who have difficulty with communication through written or spoken language, be frustrated not being able to express themselves. Having visual aids or some other form can be really helpful, and just it's like unlikely to hurt to try to find different ways to communicate or get through to the child. There are, like I said, tons of different types, and I would be more than happy to share with you more types if you're interested. So if you want to know more about the different types out there, so like there's a choice board and other stuff, please tell me, because I'd be more than happy to share what I know. Okay, talk to y'all later. Bye.